Donald Trump got most of the attention at the second Republican presidential debate. His rivals made sure of that, attacking Trump throughout last night's more than 3-hour event. But there was also plenty of substance to be found in between those political jabs.
To attack people on their appearance, short, tall, fat, ugly. My goodness, that happened in junior high. Are we not way above that?
I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there.
Donald Trump said the following about you, quote, "Look at that face. Would anyone vote for that? Can you imagine that, the face of our next president?"
I think women all over this country heard very clearly what Mr. Trump said.
You was giving me name after name, Arab name, and there are few people anywhere that would have known those names. I think he was reading them off a sheet.
These are important issues because look around the world today. There is a lunatic in North Korea with dozens of nuclear weapons and a long-range rocket that can already hit the very place in which we stand tonight. A gangster in Moscow is not just threatening Europe, he's threatening to destroy and divide NATO.
The reason it is so critically important that every one of us know General Soleimani's name is because Russia is in Syria right now because the head of the Quds force traveled to Russia and talked Vladimir Putin into aligning themselves with Iran and Syria.
When Carly says the revenues went up, that's because she bought Compaq. It was a terrible deal, and it really led to the destruction of the company. So I only say this, she can't run any of my companies.
You ran up mountains of debt as well as losses using other people's money, and you were forced to file for bankruptcy not once,
I never filed
not
for
twice,
bankruptcy.
4 times.
So 40 years ago, I smoked marijuana, and I admit it. I'm sure that other people might have done it and may not want to say it in front of 25 million people. My mom's not happy that I just did.
I wouldn't change the $10 bill or the $20 bill. I think, honestly, it's a gesture. I don't think it helps to change our history. What I would think is that we ought to recognize that women are not a special interest group. When women are the majority of this nation, we are half the potential of this nation, and this nation will be better off when every woman has the opportunity to live the life she chooses.
Republican strategist and CBS News contributor Frank Luntz watched the debate with a group of 29 Republican voters. He is in Los Angeles. Frank, good morning.
Good morning.
So tell us what we're going to see here and how it was done.
So we've got a couple of clips, and it's called Instant Response. The higher you see the lines climb, the more favorable the reaction. We've got one clip that's pretty negative, and the lines go down, and they're using a device about the size of a remote control, and they turn it on every word and every phrase. So the viewers at home, if the lines go up, it means it's great. If they go down, it means it's horrible.
Okay, talk about Carly Fiorina.
She was by far the strongest. They felt that she was a leader. They saw her as being presidential. And whereas Donald Trump was seen as being petty, Carly Fiorina was seen as a genuine leader. Let's take a look at that first clip.
The truth is 75% of the American people think the government is corrupt. 82% of the American people think these problems that have festered for 50 years in some cases, 25 years, and in other cases, the border's been insecure for 25 years. 307,000 veterans have died waiting for health care. These things have gone on for so long because no one will challenge the status quo. You know what a leader does? They challenge the status quo. They solve problems that have festered for a long time, and they produce results.
And that is exactly what the American people are looking for. Someone who's going to produce results for them and not engage in that kind of petty politics that you showed in a couple of clips 2-3 minutes ago.
Let's talk about Donald Trump because he certainly was a target last night. Let's take a look at the graphic that shows how the people responded to him and the way he responded back. Frank, what does this say to you?
It communicates to me that when Donald Trump is fighting on behalf of the American people, it's incredibly positive and effective. But when he is challenging and basically sniping at his competitors, that's the ingredient of his downfall. Let's take a look.
We're just taking a look at it, Frank. I mean, you talked to the voters after the debate, certainly. Did you sense any Trump fatigue?
I sensed a little bit of Trump anger. They were very eager to hear what he had to say. They wanted to know some of the details on policies, and in particular, foreign policy. And they were very disappointed that too often he seemed to take personal shots at the people to his left and to his right, rather than focusing on the question and answering the specifics of what do you do with Russia, what do you do with ISIS. Now, he scored well on immigration, and he scored well on dealing with Korea. But on some of these issues, they just felt that he was too personal and too frankly, too in your face to the people who would otherwise be presidential candidates.
Frank, let's talk about Chris Christie right at the top of the debate when he tried to turn the attention to the people rather than himself. Let's watch.
Hi, my name is Chris Christie, and I'd like you to take the camera off me and put it on the audience, because I'd like to ask all of you, how many of you, raise your hand, believe that in today's Barack Obama America, your children will have a better life than you've had? You see, that's why I'm running for president, because leadership is not about me, it's about our country. And what we talk about tonight is not about us. It's about the people in the audience tonight. Because in 7 short years, this president has stripped away their trust and their faith and their belief that the next generation will have a better life. He's stolen that from us, and when I'm president, I'm going to take it back.
Frank, do you think he scored well because he said it's not about me, or because he landed an attack on Obama?
Oh, no, it's because, and he said it several times in the debate, and the reaction was exactly the same. He's the only candidate of the people standing up there that kept saying, look, it's not about my background, it's not about what I've done, it's about what you need. He referenced middle-class voters, and people are waiting eagerly, anxiously, for a candidate who doesn't try to sell themselves on the voter, but instead says to the voter, I get you, I understand you, I empathize with you, and now I'm going to fight for you. It was one of the highest moments of the debate.
So, Frank, your last dial testing, you showed that Trump did very, very poorly. And in fact, you said on our air that you saw the destruction of a presidential campaign over those 2 hours. And Trump has soared to the top of the race.
You're right, and that's one of the reasons why I'm very careful about what I say about the conclusions. When you all opened up, you said, is this the end of Donald Trump? I don't believe that there's going to be an end. I think Donald Trump is in this to stay, and I think that it is impossible to pick a front runner right now. Polls aside, that there are several candidates with messages that are really working with voters, really resonating. So let's not focus on the polls. Instead, the American people want you to focus on what these candidates are going to do for them. What are the tough decisions that they're going to make that will make a difference for themselves and for the country?
All right, Frank Luntz.
Thank you.
We're going to have to leave it there. Thanks a lot.